Hello, everybody. I hope you can see the slides. That'll be great. There we go. Great. Thanks for having me on the stage. Thanks for the organization for having me here. And before I start, I just saw the other day, and I saw it today again, we are part of a global tsunami of gamification that's really reaching all parts of society now. I saw yesterday and today a representative of the Roman Catholic Church here with a laptop, interested in gamification and taking part in workshops. So it's really reaching everywhere now, and I congratulate the Roman Catholic Church of having such an open view of gamification. So that's really great. So this topic of tsunami brings me to these characters on the screen here. These are samurai, and they will form part of the story that I have to tell. And at the end of the story that I have to tell, they will feature in the European premiere of the Trade Samurai trailer. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, we're going to get started a little bit about myself. So this is me. As you see, I'm the managing director of the Octalysis group, and we are the consulting and licensing arm of the Octalysis framework. Octalysis framework was set up by Yukai Chao, and we're going to talk a bit about that. Maybe not everybody knows about the Octalysis framework, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time going through that. But first, let's talk about learning. So humans have, as we know, an innate desire to learn. We grow up and we want to learn from the first day almost that we get born. It's part of who we are, it's part of our species, it's part of the survival of our species, and other mammals as well, of course. So it's something that comes natural to us. The problem is that humans don't like to learn through reading big text or sitting to boring lectures. That's not very engaging, and it doesn't make us want to learn. What does help us are narratives. What does help us are trial and error and practice. So unfortunately, at the moment still, most of the learning is not done that way. Most of the learning still looks like this, and it's a challenge. And the challenge also brings us to what companies approach us with and say, hey, please help us. So we got approached by a company called Trade Samurai. And Trade Samurai are a forex trading company, and forex means foreign exchange currencies. What they do, they train people in using currencies, and they train people on how to trade currency. So they make a margin on the trading, and they earn money by teaching people how to do this trading. So they earn money trading yen, pound, euro, etc. Okay. Now, learning to trade forex, unfortunately, is extremely boring. There's a lot of charts you have to look at. There's a lot of data you have to look at. Also, the books are not very engaging, unfortunately. And so there's a big problem for this company, because if you don't learn how to trade forex well, you easily go bankrupt. You just don't know what you're doing, and then you stop trading, which means that the company's not making money, and it means also that people are losing money. So this is what normally happens to people learning forex. They give up and they just start to practice immediately, and therefore they lose. Now, so Trade Samurai comes to us and says, Octalysis, please make forex amazing and fun and winning. Can you do that, please? Because we want people to be engaged in learning forex. So okay, well, fine. We'll have this challenge. We'll take it from you, and let's see how we can make forex amazing, fun, and winning. So that's what I'm going to talk about now, and you can be the judge later on to see whether we've succeeded. But first, let's talk a little bit about what kind of engagement we agreed to do with Trade Samurai. So we in Octalysis think there are two kinds of gamification, and we already talked about definitions and gamification. We're not going to go in detail, but basically for us, there's implicit gamification, where you use gameful design for non-game purposes, and you can see that everywhere. You see progress bars and badges and stars that you win in eBay or in LinkedIn, for example. And then on the other side, you have explicit gamification, which is basically games for non-game purposes. We know the McDonald's Monopoly board, and we also know maybe, but a little bit older, Old Spice had a very serious game where they used an NBA basketball player who used the deodorant stick as a jetpack to travel to sky. Kind of an interesting approach, but it seemed to work for them. So the Octalysis framework then, that is what it's all about. Some people may know it, some people don't. Basically, Octalysis is octagon and analysis, and basically what we have is 8 core drives that have to be present. At least one of these 8 core drives have to be present if motivation is to take place. If none of these core drives are present, then there's no motivation and no behavior takes place. That's basically the principle of Octalysis framework. Another analysis that we can make is to divide the framework in a left brain and a right brain section. These obviously don't really exist, but this is a nice metaphor to talk about our motivations. On the left brain, the motivation there from the core drives are mainly extrinsic. So you're motivated with the hope, with the outlook of getting a reward for your actions. While on the right brain side, it's mainly intrinsic. So the activity as such is already rewarding in itself. You don't need a reward to do it. Actually, sometimes you even are willing to pay to engage in socializing, etc. All right brain activities. Then we also have white hat and black hat motivation, or white hat and black hat gamification, where black hat is very motivational, but gives you a very bad feeling, so like gambling, for example, because you don't feel in control. And white hat gives you a very good feeling about it, for example, going to mass, going to church, for example, very motivational. And it gives you a good feeling, but it's not very, very strong in pushing people towards the desired actions. Zynga is a game development who figured out to use black hat extrinsic motivation a lot. So they push people into their experiences, made a lot of money, a lot of monetization going on, very good user statistics. But because people felt, controlled a little bit by what motivation was created, when they had the opportunity to drop out, users obviously want to drop out. Okay, Octalysis as well, we also consider 4 different stages in our product. Actually, these are 4 different products: discovery, onboarding, scaffolding, and endgame. I will come to that a bit later on what it exactly means. And also, we take into account, of course, the motivation of the different players. Not every player is the same, as we know. Here we have the 4 player types of Bartle that many of you will know, but you can also fill them in for other categories that have to do with lifestyle, that have to do with gender, that have to do with background, as long as it is discerning in motivational aspects of people's behavior. So this was a bit of an introduction about what the Octalysis is, what kind of gamification we're trying to craft. And meanwhile, the client, there you see our team, a bit in a strange bubble with the client, saying, how are we going to work together? This is how we work together with the client. So the key tool that we use is the Octalysis Strategy Dashboard. The Octalysis Strategy Dashboard is a document that guides our interaction, guides our consultancy with the client. And it gives you also the interaction between all the different elements of our game experience, basically. We always start with the business metrics. The business metrics are the key things that a company wants to improve. It could be sign-ups, it could be referrals, it could be sharing, for example. These are measurable indicators for success for a company. Now, a lot of times, the company wants to do many business metrics, and sometimes 10 to 20 of them, and our role is to make sure they prioritize, because we can often only optimize our design for maybe 1 to maximum 3 of these business metrics. So our role is to give prioritization, whereby we say, okay, we try to influence the other business metrics, but we can only really design for these top 3 business metrics. The second step is then to look at what are our players, what are our user groups, what motivates them, and we try to describe them as detailed as possible, how they are motivated, and how we can design for these particular groups in the experience. Now, the trick then is, of course, how do we get the players to commit to desired actions? So the actions in the experience that make the client happy, that bring the business metrics up, and says the client, hey, great, by sharing the application with their friends, they have contributed to our business metrics. And for the player, that gets reflected in win states. The moment they commit to desired actions, they get a win state, and these win states are reinforced by incentives through rewards. And these rewards can be extrinsic, can be badges and stuff like that, but it can also be visualization of your collection set. It could also be the sense that you're socially interacting with other groups of like-minded people. Those are all rewards. And rewards can be status, they can be stuff, but it can also be power-ups of how much you can do in the application. So we try to balance these rewards as much as possible in the experience. The feedback mechanics then gives the user basically the tools to show how far they are in their user journey, how far they are in reaching the goals to mastery, basically. And these things could be progress bars, it could be filling up your collection set, you could also see that you're part of a group now, a clan maybe, that do group quest, And those kind of feedback mechanisms are important because they trigger the desired actions. Okay, after we've concluded this with the client, we go into really brainstorming with the client about, what are we going to design for you? And this is where the real fun comes in. And I see the organization has given me an older slide than I had, but it doesn't matter. We can take this. In a discovery phase is a phase where the user gets to know, well, why do I even want to interact with the product? And here it's very important that we engage people by creating unpredictability and curiosity. So why, what's there to find? And here's discover the hidden trade secret in Samurai. And also, we want to push people a little bit in the experience itself. So just showing that something is there doesn't mean that people actually want to take the step. So often we create scarcity by putting countdown timers, or by asking the question, hey, are you good enough? Don't you want to be part of the elite? Test it now whether you can be part of the exclusive club of people that are going to be included in the Trade Samurai. Here, also on top, we have epic meaning and calling. We're going to also introduce a narrative. And the narrative here is basically that you can join Forex trading, not just for Forex trading, but you can save the world. You can battle fear and greed to Forex trading. And this makes it a nice narrative that people can buy into. And further on, you will see that we build on it. Here you can see when people go into the onboarding phase, where they learn the rules of the game, and where we try as much as possible to give them a lot of small win states to make them feel confident in the application. We are going to repeat again, hey, you've joined, you're on a journey to save the world from fear and greed. That's amazing. But also, we more and more want to give them a sense of home, more and more ownership of the application. So we're going to show them that they can make collection sets. And we're also going to give them, mainly through step-by-step tutorials, small little win states that they can feel confident and accomplished. So that the first time you identify a currency, and we have a nice little game that does that, is that, wow, you identified the currency, here's your first badge. It's amazing. So people get very easy win states where they feel accomplished. Then later on, a scaffolding game where your path to mastery takes place. We are going to slowly move our design more and more to the direction of intrinsic motivation, long-term motivators for engagement. For example, we create clans where you can trade together in a group with other people, and this creates a long-term buy-in to your commitment. And also, we are slowly but surely also going to get people to be creative, get some autonomy in their own ideas. So you can create content on the site itself. You can create advice for other people to follow. And this is, again, more design that people can buy into for the long term. And in the end game, you see that even more extreme. This is where we try to retain our senior users, where people can give trade advice, get reviews, and establish yourself as a trade Confucius. Just somebody who is very famous on eBay, for example, or similar websites. Okay, now after we've established that, we can go back to designing. And this is where we are designing screen by screen, step by step, the user experience, the user engagement, how it takes place on screen. So we are now in the MVP stage. We just finished maybe a third of the application. And we already have 600 slides. So it's a very laborious, very high quality product that we're trying to deliver. And this is one of them. So here, for example, this is the dojo. This is a very rough, we call it ugly wireframes design that then gets designed by artists to be developed by the development team. Here's another one. You can see an example of shooting flags with currency symbols. Very simple in the onboarding, gives them a very, very easy feeling of accomplishment, but much, much more engaging than reading books and looking at charts, obviously. This is another one that I like very much. Here you can ride a dragon. You can't see it now because this is not really developed, but you can ride a dragon through the caves along the trends. And you have to guide the dragon. It's a blind dragon. You have to guide him to go up and down by going in or out of a trade. And if you do it wrong, then the dragon bumps his head and says, ow, you did it wrong, try again. And this is a very nice and light, engaging way to engage with a very boring kind of topic. Okay, now I hope this is going to work because I think we're having a PDF file here, even though I asked for a keynote. There is there is a video after this. It's the trailer of the trade summary, so I hope it works. Here you can see what the end product then looks like after all the steps that we took from strategy dashboard to features to concept wireframes, and then hopefully this works. We'll see the trailer here, the European premiere. Hopefully see you tomorrow. You guys speak as well about Octalysis. Thanks.